I think it's pretty safe to say that the driving force for the hype of The Rise of Skywalker has all to do with Palpatine's return and exactly how he will be utilized in this story by director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing I will say about Episode 9 that I am really excited about is to see exactly how much of the Star Wars Legends material will actually be thrown into Star Wars Episode 9 in an accurate way. I don't know if you guys knew, but Episode 9 is going to rely on the expanded universe from the 1990s and the 2000s that's being used primarily for inspirational source material. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intense for the character of Darth Sidious/Emperor Palpatine. Now, specifically, it's described that one of the sequences that were filmed during the month of January of this year over in Cardington involved the sequence toward the end of the film, where it said that on set both Mark Hamill and Ian McDiarmid were participating in a scene that would involve Palpatine's fate in the movie. It's described that Mark Hamill and Ian McDiarmid shared a vital scene together, where Adam Driver was said to be on the ground, where Rey was said to be in a scene with an ignited blue lightsaber portrayed by Daisy Ridley. Now, it said that Palpatine's death would involve a new Force power used by Luke Skywalker, and that the netherworld of the Force would play a role in Palpatine's demise. Additionally, it's explained that Palpatine's death is said to be based loosely on what happens to his death in Star Wars Legends, and that this sequence will involve his spirit in the form of a red, shapeless cloud. Now, the visual effects for the sequence are best described as state-of-the-art, and that it was very difficult seeing as a film for the movie to actually film that it took roughly 2 weeks to finish and get done correctly. Also, it said that Palpatine's death will be far different than how he dies in Return of the Jedi, and that it will be done in a way that fans cannot imagine, where it will be unpredictable. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, Palpatine is going to be a very intriguing part of Episode 9. It really is surreal that he's back, and I'm just hoping that J.J. Abrams is able to really knock it out of the park with this film. So, in this particular scenario, we have Mark Hamill and Ian McDiarmid. It's said to be a very intense sequence that took roughly 2 weeks to film. 2 whole weeks. That tells us that not only is it going to be quite lengthy, in or around at least 7 minutes between Skywalker and Palpatine, maybe even a little bit less than that, like 6 minutes and change for all we know. But it's going to be a very dramatic sequence. So what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that Palpatine is going to be by far the most sinister figure in the entire Skywalker saga. It's said that J.J. Abrams wants to make him a whole lot more evil than ever before than what we already know him as in the prequels and the originals, and that this character is going to be used in different ways. So Palpatine's demise, right, his death in this film is said to be based off, loosely based off of his death in Star Wars Legends. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Legends, but in Legends, Palpatine is killed by a blaster shot fired by Han Solo, but his spirit is captured by the mortally wounded Jedi named Brand. Now, when Brand dies, he takes Palpatine's spirit with him into the netherworld of the Force, destroying the Sith Lord once and for all. So that's what happened in Star Wars Legends, and that's exactly, what may happen now in Episode 9 from what it seemed. These are a lot of different hints and or indicators of Palpatine's death in The Rise of Skywalker and exactly how it's really going to happen in the movie. So the other piece that I do want to go over is how his spirit is actually said to play a large role in Palpatine's demise in The Rise of Skywalker in the form of a red, shapeless cloud confronting Skywalker's Force Ghost. So this is a very intense moment between Rey, Kylo, Palpatine, and Luke, and maybe even more than that. There's a lot more to the story than we already know, and as we go throughout the months, we will be learning more and more about Episode 9. So, like I said, we got the new trailer on the way this October. Disney and Lucasfilm are aiming for October 14th. That falls on a Monday. And there's a lot of talk out there that the new trailer will actually also be attached to Maleficent 2. That's actually going to be released on October 18th. So you will be able to see the full trailer on the big screen. So, moving past all of this, alright, Palpatine and his death in The Rise of Skywalker is said to be unpredictable to the fans. Now, that, again, I think speaks volumes if the casual fan or new fans are not really familiar with Star Wars Legends. Again, like I say, his death is going to be very much similar to what happened to him in the Dark Empire comic line, like I say, where the Jedi named Brand, just as he was about to die, takes Palpatine's spirit and goes into the Netherworld as Brand dies. So that's very interesting. It's kind of like imagining it like this, where if someone is dying and they capture the spirit of this evil Sith Lord, as they die, they go into the Netherworld and bring Palpatine into the Netherworld of the Force, keeping him there forever and hence killing off any dark side related energy. Very intriguing, and I think that's exactly where it's going now, given that it will be loosely based off of Legends. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.